6:30, and I will call the meeting to order. Remind you that our meetings are taped and later played on the city website and YouTube. So just kind of while we get started here, because we record. Well, our meetings are recorded and later played on YouTube and on the city website. So when you are speaking, I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Any citizen concerns?
He is part of the grass.
Oh, okay. Okay. We have something that will be addressed later in the grass.
Unless, okay, that's towards the end, unless you want to be at the very beginning here.
I don't care. You control.
If you don't mind waiting, we'll address it as we look at the new format, or if you just want to have.
Is it like the end of the meeting or what?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, well, then I do mind waiting.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead then, and we'll go ahead and address that, and knowing that when we address the changed letter, we have some background. Okay, go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, I've got 3 issues. A couple of them are maybe informative and one of them not so informative. First of all, when the city accepted that road, I think they made a huge mistake. My bank, you know, I know you expect me to mow that, but I'd also like to live a few years longer. That when they put that in, they cut down the top up by my place, and they filled in to decrease that, you know, so it wasn't so much. But when they filled that in so high, then to get down by the property lines, they had to make that really steep. Well, for me to mow that with a power mower is virtually impossible. I'm literally taking my life in my hands to do it. So I walked it this morning and mowed it. So if anybody's got any brilliant ideas about how I can maintain that without dying, I'd appreciate it. Second thing is thistles. When 2 years ago, first of all, I should say that when Benkowski owned that, there were no thistles. And I lived a neighbor to him for 50 years, literally. There were no thistles in there. If there ever were, he took care of them. So someplace along the line, as they're building houses and doing that, they either brought them up, they disturbed them from someplace, or they brought them in the fill. Doesn't make any difference. 2 houses from me 2 years ago, there were literally thousands of thistles. The city did nothing about it that I ever seen. And they're to the west of me. So, which means when there's a west wind, guess where they go? They go to my place. So that they started there really badly. I mean, I have pictures and they are very bad. Then they moved the next house closer to me, and they had literally thousands of thistles again. Those didn't get taken care of for 2 years. As a matter of fact, this spring they were still mostly all there. So, and you can imagine what happens to my property because of that. I sprayed 5 times last year for thistles and 3 times this year. And it's, I'm not gaining. So the thistles is maybe now, they finally more or less taken care of them. But in that whole development, including, the city lots, there's bad thistles. Okay. So it's kind of fruitless for me to take care of them when nobody else is taking care of them. I don't care who it is or anything. The third thing is that last Thursday, I was feeling pretty good and I got the mail and that was about as down as you can get. I got a letter that said I was a public nuisance. Well, I've never been a public nuisance to my knowledge. And because I'm not doing something that you think I should do. I'm not mowing my lawn enough, I'm not taking care of the thistles, whatever it was. My wife, when she got that and opened it up, was aghast at how confrontational that letter was. It didn't say, would you please take care of this or anything. It said, you better do this. It's gonna cost you $250 an hour if you don't. And there's a deadline, the 24th of August, you better have it done. Well, when I looked at it, it says, you have to mow 100% of your property. So I've got woods, and a lot of the new growth down in the lower part is woods. And a lot of that I never intended to mow. Been like that for 30 years. If I gotta mow 100% of my property, there's at least, that I went around town, there's at least 20 to 30 other people in the city limits that are in the same situation. They've got some things that are mowed, and I understand this 12-inch thing. If you've got a lawn, you should keep it under 12 inches. I understand that. But you can't take the entirety of a lot and say you gotta destroy all this and get a lawn to grow, and then you, by God, better keep it under 12 inches. So they're back in that area on my property. There are 3 deer that bed down virtually every night. About a month ago, there was sandhill cranes in there. So there is some, good things about that. Like I said, if you're going to enforce that kind of craziness on me, you better enforce it on the other 20 to 30 people that are in the city. And I got pictures of virtually all those, and I can point them out to you. But I don't want to do that. I'm not mad at those other people, and I don't think they should have to, clear cut their lots. I've got nothing but sand and gravel back there. I can't grow a lawn to start with. So if I cut the natural vegetation and try to grow something, that's all hillside. Where does that all run down the hill? I have enough erosion problems as it is. So I think it was very unfair what happened. And I think it was downright mean. So, and I'm just not happy about any of this situation. Not only that, but nobody comes and talks to me. You send me a letter in the mail threatening me. That's really great. When I was on the council, we didn't operate. If you think that's good, you're crazy.
No, I don't think that, any of the attention we have, I have also well recognized, I never liked our letter. It was done previously by an attorney, and we finally got a good example. It did come across very poorly. Very poorly. I read this and I would feel, I would really be turned off by it and kind of not understand. Some of it is such legal terms. It's like, what are we talking about? So totally understand that. And, we agree when they accepted the road, it is too steep. And Mike has brought that up a number of times. And the fact that, when the addition was going up, we were kind of not enforcing anything because there was so much building going on. So then this last year was determined we need to start now because we were getting complaints from some of those who had built with, some of the grass and the thistle and that. So, Lauren, you're going to see that it's much nicer and less threatening. It went to planning to try and clarify. And I think, going forward, there wasn't really a good process laid out. So if someone wants, notice a claim, but to note an exemption like this is impossible to mow, or I don't mow this because it's all rock and steep. We can start to note and have that exemption process. But before we did, the ordinance, it's kind of an all or none, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So this, the new violation actually outlines a process where you can appeal. I mean, if you get a letter, you can come forward and say, I can't mow this, it's too steep, it's, whatever reasons. And then, I mean, that can get notated and it's kind of done. That you wouldn't be continuing to enforce. Some of that, I know, Mike, with the city property, the grass is so high, you don't even know what's down there, so some of this is kind of learning. That addition has probably been the hardest because it is such a different grades out there. So understand your concerns and this is kind of our answer in response to that.
This is something that was developed after I got a letter.
No, we've been working on this for some time. And getting examples, and in fact, our attorney here gave us the example from Detroit Lakes that we found the best.
So you could have sent me that one.
No, we
No,
just are approving it tonight. This is the first view. Saw other ones and they too were so legal and just kind of intimidating. So this was one that our attorney brought to us and we've been working on adapting it to our city ordinances and that.
So planning starts working. Right?
No, I just got it from her and we just worked together to try and make it, less threatening, more clear, have a process that if you don't agree, tell us what's, geographically, what makes it impossible to mow, make it more of a process of working together.
Who determines who is a public disturbance? I mean, that was kind of very upsetting to me.
Well,
If somebody calls me a public disturbance.
yeah, that was the
Or
verbiage.
Public
and
nuisance.
Public nuisance, and that's just where grass stuff is located in our ordinances and nuisance. So that term is used because that's how the ordinance heading is. Now, this is more a violation of high weeds, noxious weeds, high grass. It doesn't get into some of that verbiage that was literally taken right out of an ordinance heading.
Yeah. So, I spent 2 days down there, mowing, cleaning, whatever, and I got it, I'm 80 years old, it doesn't come that darn easy. So, and like I said, I'm not gonna kill myself on that thing. So, I'm to a point where I'm saying right now, I'm good, leave it alone. So you're gonna have to tell me if I'm wrong. Who declares who a public nuisance?
I don't think it's declaration of a public nuisance. I mean, that's the
You're saying who
heading.
brought it to its attention? Who sent you the letter, or who just determined that you got a letter?
Yeah,
Yeah, the mayor makes the rounds with a staff member to assist. And then you just note where you're seeing by ordinance. There's no way to say, well, I'm not going to do it there or there. That's why there has to be a process to bring appeals forward, because I myself can't say, well, he's going to be okay, but he is.
so, but the council doesn't have anything to do with it, it's all the mayor that decides that,
Right,
and a staff person?
right, just to assist.
Who's the staff person?
Well, this time Rachel Newstead had joined, deputy clerk.
Okay.
And sometimes it has been utilities and maintenance services, so. It's merely, not that we're calling you a nuisance, it's really just looking at, well, in that one, in this one it isn't. It's merely looking at the grass is too tall, there's noxious weeds. And,
So what's our solution here for me?
we've noted your complaints, we can note the appeal. And then we have the feedback process. It's not capable of mowing. I know Mike himself has noted on that city property, impossible. Then do you start weed whacking? Do you do, some chemical type? I know we do have the DNR that was going to come and help us look at it. And So then we could document this an exemption, this was appealed, impossible to mow, done. Right now, there's nothing.
Do you want to grant him the exemption tonight? Or does he need to fill something out?
I need the exemption.
Right, yeah, so
Yeah.
from what I hear is you're asking for the exemption. So does council want to grant Menzies an exemption on that parcel? Or do you want to wait until we run a form and then it comes next month and then grant the?
I'm okay noting it, as long as we can write it down. I don't want it to be that we haven't formally wrote it down in just this dialogue. So, we can certainly work with you on that, you know, after we approve this, and then we could just jot down too steep. You know, one area is more nature wooded. And is that some of the solution?
Yes,
Yeah, thistle is very problematic out there.
yes.
And we've been working with a number of people to get rid of thistle. It just is a huge problem. So does that,
So from now on, if you've got a problem with that, I'd appreciate it if you come and talk to me.
okay. Okay. Thank you, Lauren, for coming and bringing that forward.
It might be better to write something down and then have a file where it's written down.
Okay, instead of.
I think it's better if you guys write something down.
Right, we will start a spreadsheet in the office of all exempt properties, of what parcel it is and.
I will share what we've noted and he can,
But I guess.
I can
so-
sign it, but I'm not gonna spend time writing the narrative.
You all know what it looks like
Lauren,
and
are all
what
the
the topography
ditches
is.
the same way going on?
Might
No,
be
no,
a
Some are better, mine's right at this very
Sure.
highest. point.
subsequent
We
clerk,
got more rocks.
superintendent, lawyer, who doesn't know.
Oh,
or the mayor who has
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah,
we shouldn't have
and
been.
so if you
No,
perhaps assist him in doing the form.
Yeah.
But if you have the person write something down, the reason for the exemption, and then some sort of internal notes about you looked at it and you agreed or whatever, and then you have
And
the.
that is our process. That's outlined in the new form. Oh,
Mhm. But just, I mean, there are some things, the railway street stuff, for example. I have, and we're working, I have a human being to talk to now, but there's no file, no notes, no nothing, I got nothing. And
and that's been part of the problem.
And that's been huge with our city, and so we are really
Okay,
working on
so
it.
so have a better process would be to have a person make an application in writing, doesn't have to be a treatise. And maybe if they have pictures or something like that, and then,
Yeah, and we take pictures when we do the process as well.
but it's why it is that the thing can't be moved. I mean,
Yeah,
you all.
That's what it is. You would write written objections submitted to the city. And they have it within 48 hours of the notice, excluding the weekends and holidays, so a couple business days to submit those objections so that they can get reviewed. And then, you know, then it could get noted and then we have it on file that this is not going to be further pursued due to exemptions.
Mhm.
Okay. And we will be approving this form if we get later in our agenda. Moving on to agenda additions and deletions. The planning committee will be going under committee reports. There is an action item there. And due to some conflicts, we're looking at moving the September meeting. So that will be number 7 on the agenda. Any other additions or deletions? Not can I have a motion to
I'll make a
approve?
motion.
Second that.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The consent agenda, As it is with the planning commission, committee report removed, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion, or second, either way.
We have a motion from James, a second from Paul. Initially, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Committee reports, Julie, I understand that you're gonna be going through those, so water sewer.
Okay, so the Water and Sewer Committee met on August 10th, and they recommended that the council, or the council approve the purchasing of one lift station in 2026 and one lift station in 2027. We have the two main lift stations that are over 30 years old.
Yeah.
Pumps, I'm sorry, not the whole lift station, just the pumps there's two pumps in one lift station.
Yeah.
And they are over 30 years old, and so they need replacement because of the cost, which is actually $16,686 each. So they would like to approve one this year and one next year. In the budget, we did budget $12,000 for risers, because we thought the risers would need to be replaced this year. With replacing these pumps, we will not have to replace the risers. So $12,000 of this for 2026 will come from the money that was put away for risers. So it's $4,686 more coming out of the budget for 2026. And then it's $16,686 being put in the 2027 budget.
And the 4,680 we have within that budget, or will need to move money from general?
We do not, but the next recommendation is to raise we can't move money from general to pay for one of our funds. So is to move the sewage usage rate effective September 1st up by 50 cents.
We'll make that all in a motion.
So to buy the pumps
Buy the
and
pumps.
to raise
Year, 1 year, this year, one next year, and raise the fee 50 cents.
And then there's more to the fee after September, correct?
Right, but we can make that as a separate motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Second part?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. And then they are looking at the 2027 budgets for both water and sewer. And we'd like to raise the base rate to $2 by $2.50 every 1,000 gallons, effective January 1st, 2027 for the sewer. And then for the water, we're recommending the base rate go to $32 a month and the usage rate go to $5 per 1,000 gallons, effective January 1st, 2027.
We have a motion for rate increase, or we have a recommendation for rate increases from water sewer. Is there any other discussion?
We'll make that motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And Bruce will be writing, Bruce from the Water and Sewer Committee has stated that he will write an article in the next newsletter explaining to our residents the need for these increases.
Park board.
So the park board met and discussed the water ski dock that they would like to storage on our property. And we have
And we're here.
yeah, Lynn and
Dennis.
Dennis here to explain exactly what you're requesting.
Sure. I'll let Dennis start because he's the one that's in charge of docs for our show team.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank,
Yeah.
Vergas immensely, because, without your support here, we wouldn't have a water ski show. And what our request is to be able to use
we put our docks on the shore someplace within the park there. Because if we have to haul them away, that really costs a lot of money and then find a place to store them. And we're hoping that, you know, with donations and that, you know, J&K will take them out and put them where we need them. Where you guys would like them, that would be, you know, that would be the best thing for us, because you guys know better than we do what happens to the beach in the winter. So we would just like to store them here.
Is it just the docks or is it also the boat lift?
And the boat.
Yeah, so there's a dock and then 2 boat lifts. And they bring that big pontoon in and they pretty much are going around the lake doing all kinds of people's stuff. And if we could just have them pick it up, put it on the beach somewhere where you guys would like it. And then in the spring, they would just pick it off and put it back. It would just save us tons of money. That would be an option.
I know at our last meeting, we talked about, we haven't allowed this in the past. We have turned people down. So we don't want to change precedent. So I don't know, you know, I think what has happened with the other one, they have to put it right in front of where they put it out. Is that correct? It isn't on our city beach. They haven't moved it up on the boardwalk here.
We do not give any permission to put it on city property at all. We have said, no, you may not put it on city property to the current property owner. The past property owner, there was rules and regulations, like they could not take it out until after October 15th, and they had to have it in by April 15th. As well. They cannot hold the city responsible if any damage happens to it. Are criteria that the city put on for one property owner back when they did give them permission to do so. And then they limited the amount of space, you know, so he could only have 1 dock and 1 lift to that.
So was that just individually or do we have just more broadly defined as our city policy?
That was an individual agreement with them. And then the second property owner that requested this, we told them no. Or the city council decided no. One of the issues or concerns are that it is road right of way and it is county property that we lease. So if we were within so many feet of the road, you're not supposed to have docks.
The road that goes down to the
main,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, County 4.
Yes.
So you think that's 30 feet from the sun?
So I read that letter, which was I think to a property owner 2020 or something, and I thought it was totally fair. But you gotta have some kind of guidelines where it goes, where it can't go, when it's gotta come on, when it's gotta come off. And we think that's totally fine. So.
And if we could get any of it, you know, up on the bank too, that would be okay, instead of all of it on the beach. I mean, if we could, you know, when they take it out, if we can do some of it on the bank, if we could put a couple sections up right from where it's at, you know, and then, so it's not just all on the beach.
Right, because we do use our beach for, we have a golf tournament on the ice. We also have, and we also have a skating rink. You go down through our beach and then there's a skating rink area there, or we have in the past. I'm not sure if we're doing it this winter or not. And then we have ice fishermen that come down, as well as snowmobilers that come off the.
We definitely don't want to be in the way of those things. That's you know, that you definitely don't want.
Do you guys have like a path that you normally like put ribbons on or like snow fencing so everybody goes through a certain, it's just kind of wide open?
Yeah.
Would that be a big hardship to do that so that it's always just, people?
Mike, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I think if it's allowed from the council to move forward with it, I think that him and I, or one of us, Brian and him, can get together and we can stage that stuff where it should be, not gonna affect snowmobilers, if we have a skating rink, the, ice fishermen, and like Julie said, the data plane and stuff like that. And I think if we work together, we can have this done. It's,
Well, I kind of like your idea better when you just pull it up on the bank where it's at.
Well,
There's
we
some
can't
of
do
these same
all of that.
guidelines versus taking our beach, area. I really worry something. Karen. Yeah, you wanna say something?
Before you say yes or no, I think that it would be a good idea that with the insurance trust. Because there are things about what concerns that they have. Automobilers sometimes come off the lake in a less than sober condition and then they crash into things. And the dock, and again, we're at a disadvantage. I don't have it in my head where these things are. But if the stuff is in a place or in a way where where it's not clearly marked, it's not clearly reflectorized, and somebody comes off the lake hot or something like that and crashes into it, it's not just that their stuff might be damaged, but the snowmobiler or the passenger might be damaged, and there's this thing that hasn't been there for forever, and it could, if you're letting it there could be some liability. It's not the sort of, it's not my regular wheelhouse, and so the people at the league are much better at knowing that, because that's the thing that they specialize in, and you don't want to set yourselves up for crashing into stuff and having
That
to
would be
pay.
my concern with speed. That's why I would prefer it's right where they push them out.
And then the
And that
other
part of it.
thing is if you've got scooters and things like that, that tends to be young people. And there's this doctrine of attractive nuisances, and if you're creating an attractive nuisance, that's not a good thing. And if something happens, it implicates the city.
One thing that we do have, we have insurance on the dock and the lifts throughout the year. We have to have insurance through our water sea show.
Yeah, it's called Safe Sport, so everything is insured. Plus, we're all USA Water Ski members, which has insurance.
But that's on strictly the dock and the lift, not liability if somebody's injured.
It covers anything that happens to our stuff, if somebody runs into it, and that's why we put a little sign on the dock, because if somebody falls off it and hurts themselves, it's kind of on us a little bit. That's always a dicey area, you know. And we could maybe get one or two of those boat lifts up on that bank right where we are, but it's really heavily wooded and it's pretty steep. I think that dock is gonna have to go, well, Mike says it'd be okay. I would think if it's all be in a corner where everything else is at, in the area, it just be out of sight, you know, out of mind. But it's up to you folks, but we'll put it wherever you want it.
When do you guys usually take them out?
Whenever you guys want us to pull it out. We could do it in conjunction with when you guys pull your own stuff or later. We're totally flexible.
And we're flexible, but we still have other people that do it. So and they come around the lakes and they'll do it at a time. But if we tell them that it can't be any sooner than this, and it has to be on or off at a certain time, then they would fit it in there that way. But as far as just saying, well, it's gonna be on the 16th one, I can't get that. Is there a way that, is this Mike?
This is Mike, yeah.
That we could go over there and we could look at it and maybe get the dock people that are gonna, because they know how they can lift it, where they can put it, that we could come with a recommendation of that, because, so that it's out of the way of the beach. I just know that right where we have it, there's no way to pull that whole thing up in two lifts. There's not a possible way. then we might as well just, we have to do something different. If we can use some of the other place into the tree area, that would be great. But we would have, get right there. And the people that not to prove that, We know how to ski and we know how to use the docks, but we're not really good at this part.
It's about a $1,500 bill to have them hauled away
Yeah.
each year, and that's just a
Some of that
ton of
is-
money.
Yeah, it's part of business.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
But
so-
we have to raise
And
that.
it's not city property, city dock or list, so that's where,
Yeah,
I think some of the concern is that, the checkers are really isn't part of the city. The docks and the list belong to a different organization. So I don't know, thoughts to check on the liability concerns, we have a different precedent where we didn't allow it. We have to be very specific.
Karen, could you hold up in court that we're allowing an organization to do this, but we will not do over residents?
Yeah.
if it helps, we're a nonprofit 501c3 registered in the state of Minnesota.
A homeowner is a nonprofit too. In a different way, but
Don't the, like, from what I've learned over the years is they're working for the city, they're doing everything for the city, for the residents, to bring people into the city. So I'm kind of, where I lean towards is that it's a good thing for the city, where a resident is a resident,
But we're here for residents. That's our job.
so if you were to want to make a distinction, how you have all those policies and things like that, you should have a policy first. So that you can make your findings that it brings in business and it is brings tourist people into the community and it helps businesses thrive and things like that. And that an individual homeowner doesn't have those same benefits, and so for that reason, you would be able to do a distinction between that, and then what if you have some commercial dock that wants to be operating and they have rentals and whatever, and that also brings people into the community, and why wouldn't that be a positive business for them? So when, before you say yes, I would say policy.
So I recommend that you table this item and request that Mike meet with them and have an established place by the September meeting, and that the office put together a policy to recommend for the September meeting.
Any other discussion or thoughts?
I move to table it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of that? Okay, Sam? Okay. Well, thank you. We do appreciate the ski shows. They are wonderful. I always get to them this time, so it brings a great crowd. We just have to make sure that we're covered. That you aren't, and we aren't, kind of setting ourselves up for something to happen.
We understand.
Oh, I understand.
We understand.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, and when are your normal docks pulled? Like,
we'll pull right after Labor Day,
oh,
and
that's
then the DNR will come.
when they pull the big one out.
Yeah, they'll pull. No, well, we have to help them. And that will be, we normally come about the second week in October.
I see. Okay. And then where do you put your docks now? I've never even been by in the wintertime to
So
see
we put the docks down by there's
for town.
the pier goes. That's when we put the pier. So then we put the docks
Outside, way in the corner.
in the corner by the oak trees.
Yep, got it. Okay, I got it.
Okay, and Mike, you're good with this kind of meeting with them and taking a look and coming with a recommendation?
I'll get a hold of you, Mike, and we'll get it done.
Okay.
And then you'll let us know on the next meeting if we should come or not, or whatever.
Yes,
Okay.
And we're looking at a meeting date.
we're looking at changing
That's
it,
right.
so that's why, yeah, but I will email you tomorrow, giving you that date. It'll be at 6:30 here, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, but that,
Okay, if you want us to, we're here. If you don't, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, very good. Thanks for hearing us out. Appreciate it. Thanks for all your support, you guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good
Thanks,
day,
Mike.
guys.
Yeah. Are you good with everything down there now? What we got? You're good? Okay, thanks.
Street yard and waste.
okay, so the Street Yards and Waste Committee met and discussed Keely Shores third edition. They have everything to the point where we can recommend approval except the basin, the water basin.
Water basin, yeah.
And so today I spoke with the property owner and he stated that on Friday or Monday, they would be digging that out. Then they will need to get a hold of the MPCA and they will get a certificate from them stating if it is on it. Blaine, are you on?
Yes, I just made it.
Perfect. Yeah. So I spoke with Blaine earlier, but jump in. Pankowski would requested that we approve this project upon completion of the certificate from the MPCA. But I've spoken with Blaine and he stated that we probably want to wait to the next meeting when he can go and check it all out and things. Is that correct, Blaine, or do you have more information?
Yeah, I mean, if he does get a certificate from the MPCA that and he's done the proper revisions, I think at that point, then obviously we're willing to accept it. But right at this point, it's deficient and not what was agreed upon.
And I don't see that in the recommendations of.
No, that's, I just wanted to
Okay.
keep you up to date.
Okay.
If you wanted to, so if you
Okay.
don't want to do anything and wait till the next meeting, we can just move forward. Their next recommendation is we have a property owner that is requesting a driveway easement on the far side of our yard waste parcel. They would like a 16-foot easement to have a driveway into their property. The streets and yard waste though are looking at if you recommend to allow this easement to move forward, they would like the criteria that they pay all legal costs for writing up the easement as well. And in those, we would like to restrict it that it can be only used for a personal driveway. That they, at no time, if they develop property or anything back there, that it can be used for a street or alley or anything, but it has to only be used as a driveway
Do we have a description
of that property.
of what they want for the easement?
They do not have a written description.
She's got.
Okay, so they need to also provide a written description of the property they want.
Well, they need to have it like a surveyed.
Okay.
Again, I'm at a disadvantage here. I'm not seeing the visual, because I know where the yard waste is, but is this some space that you use?
No. I don't think that we would ever use it because it's kind of on towards the property line on the other side of the going out 17s before you get to the yard waste.
It's the north end of the yard waste.
Because sometimes, the extra car gets parked in the driveway, and so then if you had a need to be using it or something like that.
Yeah, right now there's just trees there. And
I don't even think there's trees. I just think it's a great big monstrous hill. He's really gonna have to think so.
We also made the suggestion that he could talk to the neighbor out there too, to see if he could go further for
Right.
him to come through.
we can only deal with what's on the city limits and what's our property.
So do you want to just note that we are acting on the recommendation and that they follow up in terms of the easement?
Okay, so before you will act on this, we need to have surveyed and a written description.
The survey describes.
Well, I mean, but they would have to pay for that when deciding if it's apparently a large construction cost.
I think that's all part of it, isn't it?
Legal costs.
Right, that's what we considered legal costs. We weren't sure that was all gonna entail, but yes, but I think we should add a survey with a written description.
All this, no cost to the city, yeah, all of this.
Mhm.
Okay, so we will go ahead and table that. The next one, Julie,
So you table it for what reason? You don't
to
want-
get the survey and the description done.
Well, you wouldn't
Right.
necessarily, you, right, before there's a whole lot of work done, you wanna make sure that they were really.
She's just saying that we won't approve the actual easement until that stuff is done. But we can approve that we are going to allow this if all of this is done.
Oh, okay. Got it. Is there a motion to
I'll make the
accept the
motion.
proposed?
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And then we've been working along West Lake Street. There's a lot of dead trees and things, and Mike has gotten he got 3 quotes, but the lowest quote was from 3 Pines to remove the dead trees along the road right away for a max, and their recommendation is to move forward with that for a maximum of $2,500, with funds being drawn from the streets repair and maintenance.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 And then our tractor forks are bent and becoming unusable, and so they would like to recommend to City Council to replace those for a cost not to exceed $1,329.
Make that a motion.
There's a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
What do you do with the old forks? Do you just scrap metal?
The old forks were scrap metal when we got them,
Oh,
and we repaired them quite a lot. And now they're like this, and we can't, like if we move the picnic tables or whatever, we get, so it's. And we use them a lot.
okay. Anything else with that one, Julie? On the 3 recommendations?
Nope, that's
Okay.
all for streets.
So staff reports.
No, planning commission.
Oh, that's right. We added that. Planning commission.
So planning commission has sent out all their nuisance letters and both their first and second nuisance letter. And we have one property that they are recommending that we send to the city attorney, that 130 East Elm Street. And to have for us to move forward with that, I need council approval to move forward. And the process, once it gets to you.
And you want to abate it,
Correct, we want to abate the nuisance.
so that there would be a notice of the violation and a notice of a hearing, and this, property is, not owner occupied, and, there's a name to the I found a name to the manager, and there's also, the Secretary of State's website has, I think the principal, and there's an address in Walker, and the last time the, property manager refused the certified, mail, and so you'd have to serve the, tenant and the manager, and I would suggest the principal, personally. And so then you would have a public hearing, you'd give them in the notice, you'd give them you'd say what was the matter, maybe include some good pictures, and then that you would give them a deadline to comply, and if they don't, then you have a public hearing, and then you would actually declare the property a public nuisance and order the abatement. And then, the abatement would be, I mean, so you would, the abatement would be either you hire somebody to remove it, or I don't know if you get to clean up or, that sort of stuff. And then you would
Last time we had it hired.
assess the costs like you did with the other deal.
What is the time frame to abate? I mean, for them to clean it up, is it 30 days or is it 2 weeks or?
Well, we have already given them 30 days, and so that's when actually they've had almost 60 to clean it up now. Do we need to give them more 14 days from the time of the letter, or
You would, I mean, I wouldn't say you make up a number, but you make you pick a date that is reasonable, from considering that you told them a whole bunch of times, and then is also, gives, service might be a challenge. I don't really know. I mean, the property where the property manager is like a condo. It looks like a residence. And so they might, if they're not accepting certified mail, I from the process server. Which is why you also would probably maybe want to serve the person for the address in Walker. There was no name associated with that on the Secretary of State's website.
And you thoughts on a reasonable date? I'd like to give it a drop date, not 30 days again.
right? Well, if I knew when the September meeting was, I would say let's have it right before the September meeting.
Yeah.
So would be when they had to have it cleaned up, and then we would have the public hearing. So let's just say September 8th. You know, but it's hard for me to say that date if we don't know when we're having the September meeting. That's what makes the difficulty here.
Well, can we say the 1st of September? That's still 2 weeks, right?
Right, so they, yeah, so they could.
But just,
Yeah, so that would be,
Because we know it's
Yeah.
not September 1st, our meeting will be late.
but you gotta get, it's personal service, so you have to get the notice drafted and to a process server in Cass County and Cass County and Cass County.
are they both guessing?
Well, Walker is in Cass, is the county seat of Cass County in Minnesota.
Okay, but then Moorhead is Clay County. So we need,
The manager's address was Fargo.
oh, okay,
West County Fargo, yeah.
okay, oh, yes, okay.
I have a tenacious process server that might be able to get the Fargo thing
Okay,
done. I don't know if you go to Walker, you'd have to pay mileage, which might be kind of
expensive,
expensive.
yes, so, yeah. But yes, so we could have the violation needing to be taken care of by September 1st. And then the public hearing, if you wanted to make a motion before our next council meeting. And
Right,
then
just prior to it.
prior to her, yeah, so we would have the public hearing at like 6:15.
I'll make that motion to have it before our next, right before our next meeting,
The public hearing,
public hearing, yeah,
and then to get the letters.
probably 6:15.
You wanna have them cleaned up before the actual drop dead 6:15 hearing.
Yeah,
Right, so September 1st, they have to have everything cleaned up and with a public hearing being held prior to.
they failed to.
Council meeting.
Yeah.
Is your meeting gonna be that much earlier? I'm just thinking of getting it served.
Oh, yes. So, well, if we get everything ready within the next that gives us 2 weeks to get it all.
I mean, I've got the forms that are merged.
Okay,
I can,
we can have it ready tomorrow.
probably.
Okay. So then it's just finding the people to serve them.
Mhm. And I mean, I have confidence in the person that we use to serve things. I mean, lots of times you use the county sheriff,
Right.
but that tends to be slow. And
So they would do Moorhead and the property here.
they could, I mean, you could do the,
We could do the
somebody
property
could,
here.
We would call a Ottawa County Sheriff's Department to drop it off here.
Oh, okay.
At the property here.
or the person from Detroit Lakes would not be terribly expensive. It
Okay.
was, like, fast.
Okay, and so that would be fine too. Yep.
And then the only concern that I've got is since the other, the Walker one, I don't have a good contact, and it would have to probably be the sheriff. And there might have to be a couple of attempts in Fargo because of they had to know what was like Brazilian.
Right.
Okay, well, all we can do is attempt, huh? So we have a motion for the first and then to have the hearing prior to our meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Give you the direction you need, Julie.
Yes.
Now into staff reports, engineering, Blaine.
Yeah. I don't know if I have too much to add from, we talked about Keely Shores already. And then last time we talked about lead service lines. That's essentially complete from the, informational or information finding phase of it. The city doesn't have any lead lines that were observed in the city. So that's good. Makes for a good system there. But yeah, outside of that, I guess I don't know if I have any other updates. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to help answer them.
Any questions for Blaine? Hearing none, thank you, Blaine.
Thank you.
Utilities, Mike.
Got a quick question. Did we bring up the fence?
No, that's your.
Okay, yeah, anyways. So. There. It's not in my report because everything just kind of happened. But the fence is going up around the treatment plant as we speak today. And they came in today and started it. But we have the discrepancy on behind the Third Avenue, behind Third, behind the treatment plant, Third Street, that property line that goes that direction. But we don't really know where that property line is because of how everything has went over many years of being that way. And on the edge of it, there's our backwash holding tank for when we backwash, we have to hold the water for so long. And that is like right on the property line. So anyway, so I talked to Blaine about getting that property surveyed, so we have all the legal descriptions of it, or everything that the survey does, to have that surveyed. He told me that it would be to do the property, I think it was $2,000. Well, so it's 1,500.
It was, yeah, 1,500 for one line, and it was gonna be a couple hundred more for, so it would be less than $2,000.
That's what he said. So I need a motion to hire Wayne from you guys to get that property line.
So the fence, it would just wait till that is done to do that back part.
But they said that they could be here tomorrow morning
Oh,
to
okay.
do that. That's the only thing that they set the poles all the way around except for that line.
Oh, okay. Okay, and we have the money?
The funding from the water, I guess that will come on the water.
Okay.
The water project.
I'll make that motion.
For a second,
I'll second.
all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then I found out today that tomorrow they're gonna start jetting. Second of the third phase. Which we do one phase every, once every 4 years. We'll do the third for 4 years. So, that's just an FYI. And then the other thing is that, Matt and I were scheduled to go to Laconia. And they changed it so it's closer to go to Grand Rapids than it is to go to Laconia. It's the first year that they're gonna have a northern expo instead of the state, so they're having two different ones. So me and Matt would like to go to the one on, I believe it was September 23rd. I thought it was.
You are correct.
September
So we
23rd.
have it in our information. I think since you were approved before, this would just,
Okay,
since it's literally just a different place, you were already previously approved for the training. So
okay,
that works out.
okay, yeah, all of those.
That's fine. Anything else you wanted? Any other questions for Mike? If not, Julie.
Right. Just have a few things. So starting, the Ottawa County EMS meeting was moved to Monday, the 24th, and I am unable to go because I have a planning commission meeting that night. So Julie has stated that she would attend, but for her to represent the city, I need council approval for Julie Bruin to attend the EMS.
I'll make a motion to approve her representing the city at the EMS meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Is that the thing?
For the EMS. Then the event center, the pergola, I don't know if you guys have looked at it at all, but it's not looking as good as it did when we built the building. So there is a quote in here to have it pressure washed and stained for $560.
How old is the pergola?
What?
How old is it?
6 years. It was done in 2020 with the when we did the outside project.
And that would be event center funding.
That would be event center funding.
Any other questions? Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The other item with the event center is coolers. And so so our event center coordinator, Rachel, has been looking into getting coolers. Our cooler is no
Is that
longer
the one
working.
behind the bar?
The one behind the bar, yeah, so to replace that, because the 3-door doesn't work back there, you can only use, you're just running into each other with that. So they're looking at replacing that with 2-door coolers, which they have found for $1,699 a piece. These do include a locking mechanism, which I think is very important because we do store alcohol in there. And we do rent the building out for a lot of, the usage of kids' birthday parties is higher than it's been since I started working for the city. Rachel has done a great job at promoting, birthday parties
And we have the funding in the event
in the
center.
event center.
Any other questions or discussion? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for the purchase of 2 coolers.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have a tax rebate for 2 parcels that we did last December. And the county just got a hold of me and stated that when that paperwork was done, it is done for the wrong parcels for where their houses are. And so we need to follow up with an amendment to the abatement agreements. The county is holding their public hearing on September 8th. And so, but we need to continue with this because of the parcel, we will need to have a public hearing to amend the abatement agreements.
And we can't put it off till next meeting? That too far down the road?
You mean wait till October?
Yeah, oh, September.
Yeah, to the September, that's what I'm requesting that we do it, is that
Oh.
prior to our September meeting.
Okay.
So we'd have to decide if we want to do this one first and then the other public hearing second. So we would have one public hearing at 6 o'clock. I don't foresee huge attendance, and then another one at 6:15.
6:15, yeah.
Mhm.
And that one would be strictly to amend the abatements.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the public hearing?
I'll make the motion to approve public hearing.
Second that.
Any other discussion? Then it's called for the vote. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Then I've been looking into website refresh projects, and I've looked at a few more as well. But the two that I actually have quotes and things for, PaulNet has provided more information regarding what he had provided last month. Also examples. So if you see in your packet, he provided different what the website would look like when he got done with that, if he updated it in that way. Also have quotes for prices from GovPilot, which does the first year, because they're designing and all of that, it'd be $6,400, and then after that it would be $3,400. So for years 2 and 3, but you would be in a commitment for 3 years. With PaulNet, we have never had more than an annual commitment in the past.
And his quote was like 1,600?
$1,450.
$1,450.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion? Do we feel the two are sufficient? Do we
Or do you
want
want me to
more,
keep?
or are we ready to? And I'll make it compliant, ADA compliant.
Yes, that's one of the criteria of everyone that I've spoken to. The federal government has changed the date now from we were supposed to be 27, and now we won't have to have it completely ADA compliant until 28. But if we're updating our website, we need to do it when we update.
I make a motion, we go with PaulNet.
Second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Oh, one other question on that. Could there be, I looked through it all, but I couldn't see a place where you could look at city ordinances off that.
Yes, there will be.
There will be.
I thought he had,
I did too.
thought he did have something in here.
Yeah,
But
meetings of June.
If you look at the front page where it says pay your water bill, meeting agendas, report of concern, and then underneath there, I believe would be, under government would be all the city.
All the city.
Yes. And the rest of my report, I believe, is all information.
Is there a timeline on the website? I know it's in our comp plan too, because our website's not very user friendly, but.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple months to get all of
okay.
these changes, but we're hopefully would have it,
Like the start of the new year or something.
hopefully, by the beginning of January, or at least by the end of January. Yes, Steve?
I'd like to just say, I had a first response call, and the guy was bleeding severely, and there was one other person that's ready to go.
We appreciate you coming out.
So,
We were aware you were on
Okay.
it, so we know you just. So thank you for, we knew you had a prior for the call.
I mean, normally there'd be a whole bunch of them in gone, but when there's on a severe bleed, you need 2 or more to handle.
Oh, wait, I missed probably the most important thing in my report. The other item that we have in my report is the notice of violation for grass letters. As you heard earlier, a lot of people feel that our current grass letter is threatening or upsetting when they receive that. So we have looked at other cities and how they provide things. And luckily we've gotten the one from Detroit Lakes. So if you guys don't feel this is threatening, this is something that I would recommend us moving towards.
Yeah.
One of the things that we really need to look at though is in here, it states, and our current ordinance does not state this, so I would need you to make a motion. And then we would have to have a second reading next month to have this go forward. But I would like violation notices to be in effect for 12 months from the date of their warning, which then future violations would be remedied by the city just mowing the properties. Currently, in May, it gets to be about 12 inches, and then they mow, we get it taken care of by the middle of June. By the end of June, it's time to send them another letter. If we, and then so sometimes this is a 3 times a summer process. It gets to be a lot of work for the grass inspector. It gets to be a lot of work for the city staff. And so, just to save time and money, if we could, so you get your first letter, and once you get that first letter, then if it gets to 12 inches again, we allow our maintenance staff just the opportunity to mow right away, and then we bill it out at those times.
So did they get notice that our city staff would be doing that since they're gonna get a bill for $200?
Nope, this is your notice, and then, and when we speak with them, we will try to speak with them and let them know, hey, if you let it get to 12 inches again, we're just going to mow next time. And we will keep that knowing.
Because there's lots of repeats.
There is, and so it's something to, unless you guys don't feel you want to change the ordinance, if you like having us rewrite letters to them.
So does this change our ordinance at all? This isn't in the ordinance, or is this gonna be our policy?
This could be a policy change. Because we're not changing, our ordinance states,
It's still.
still is in excess of 12 inches in height.
Yeah,
So-
these three things here are still
Our ordinance.
But this
So
process.
the process of only sending them one letter is what's gonna change if you guys approve this.
Questions and discussion for Julie?
This
Sounds
is
good.
just a really touchy subject because this is probably the most topic, like I get stopped on the street asking about people's violations of like grass and stuff, so.
Do you know how many complaints? we
Yeah.
get?
I'm just saying, I think this is we have to kind of tread lightly on this, because I think this.
Correct, and I totally see
What
your
happens
point.
if the wind is blowing, we measure it, or it's not blowing and we measure it, it's 12 inches and it's blowing one day and it's only 10 when we cut
No,
it.
it's so obvious.
I get it, I'm just.
Yes, and I do totally see your point, because we get, between the other public notices that planning commission deals with and the grass notices, those are like our highest phone calls now.
I also think we had a
So-
perfect example tonight where he didn't know that the council doesn't know about this. Most of these nuisances, unless I go in and actually read the list from them.
Yeah.
Unless I was going to those meetings, which
And the
not
grass
required to.
doesn't have them.
I don't have.
No,
Yeah.
Right, yes.
But like, I don't know, like, it never even goes to us, so I just said that's.
And that's Minnesota statute. I mean, the mayor does it, but he's the
Right.
inspector and, but the appeals or the
Not that I'm
exemption.
asking for more work to do, but we could, like,
Yeah.
you guys get the list of who's late on water bills. We could put another in our consent agenda. Here's the list of, I don't really like that, because I feel like we're then shaming people, and so I don't want people to be like, oh, so now my name is in the
I know, and that's why
council
we
packet,
did do it
which
before,
is,
because it changes, and then some of the
Yeah.
same ones are repeat.
right, but that, when they get their first letter, it's, that would be, if they got their letter, that made them upset to begin with, and then seeing in the council packet that their name was there for the whole world to see, I can see that only adding fuel to the fire.
I just personally don't like the idea that we have one chance and then it's just anytime it's that high again, that it's just.
So you want them to just get a letter?
I think I just don't think that that's fair to people. Like,
Okay.
there's a certain situation, something comes up and then you're just gonna get hit with $200 bills.
I kind of worry about that too. That's why I was
I mean, what
wondering if
if-
they got
yeah,
a
if they-
notice again. But
So that will be removed from here. Okay.
any other questions on the form or the process outlined here? The process wasn't really defined before, so I think that will help.
The only thing right now, when it is so dry, I think it's hard on the grass to cut it, you know.
Well,
What's
it
wrong
isn't
with
even growing. It ain't even
But
growing.
right now, it's not growing.
There's-
It's just,
Hard to get 12
it's
inches out of that.
maybe 4 inches.
I haven't mowed my grass in 5 weeks.
I mean, it's dry up there. It was just on the Otter Tail today. And I couldn't believe how much corn is just,
Oh, yeah.
just cinder dry. Wow.
Yeah, and it's a hard process because if people don't trim, there's 5 feet along the house
Mhm.
with grass. You know, so then you look for noxious weeds within that, and there were noxious weeds almost up to the roof of the house.
Mhm.
Thistle, you know, so it's a very labor intensive process. Pictures, I mean, you're trying to be fair, but I think our letter sparks problems. Just by how it states to them, because I don't think, you know, and then not defining that process, and I had went to planning. When they can't mow, you know, they're having that exemption of that process to come back with, I think will help. Or, you know, how else they can rectify it, but, other questions or comments? I know we
Do we
kind of
think
took-
it should say on there who the weed inspector is? Like, who inspected it? Or it's like there, you can write it in there, but like just having like your formal, like,
I think the letters before were from the mayor, but most people have it go, the responses go to the city office then. I mean, by law, it's the mayor, it's in the state law, which is crazy.
Cause you have a lot of training.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and it's hours and hours work doing grass inspections, so. Any other comments or?
Otherwise, it looks pretty good.
And when we looked at others, they didn't have who, they kind of had things going to the office. In the other sections, so. If not, we'll entertain a motion to move to a new type of notice.
Motion.
Is there a second?
second.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, do you think, Julie, we can get these going like September? I haven't went around this at all.
Well, we just had that, was that last month?
Yeah, it
Was
was
it July?
end of- yeah.
Okay, yeah, so, cause they had, so yes, we will try to have this.
There might not be any.
By September.
Liquor store manager request.
Yeah, so we have, she would like to hire.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Marinick.
You're gonna be a part-time cashier.
Part-time cashier, yes.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And then the second item for the liquor store is on June 1st, our prior liquor store manager brought in a new POS system, not because the current POS system that he was using, they decided to no longer, and then they provided us with this other system at no cost. They brought it in to switch over on June 1st. We have had nothing problems with that POS
Oh.
system. So the liquor store manager is currently looking at other POS systems. So I provided you with one quote for a new system, which is gonna cost approximately what we're paying currently. And when you look at the liquor store, you see the pickle for $165 every month. That's what so currently we have a system where we pay every month
So there's no warranty or any kind
or
of
not
anything with the other system
Not
that's
with
not
this-
working.
system that we currently have, no. And so, and when I had our current liquor store manager go up to, who went to Holly and spent a day training. And this system that, is being quoted is at Holly, Barnesville. And I think it's Battle Lake, I'm not positive on that, all have this system, which would be, easy for her to not, so when she learns it, she'll have contacts and people that can help her with training and stuff.
And they don't have complaints about it.
They do not, no, they all recommend it. And now we just got this quote, I got this quote 10 after 5 today, something like that. So, if you wanna wait till the September meeting, I can try to get another POS system quote, but I wanted you guys to be aware.
That's what is our threshold? When we should have more for the quote.
$2,500.
And this would come out of the liquor
The liquor
store
store,
funds.
yes, yeah.
Well, since our threshold, we're supposed to have a second one. We should probably get another one.
A second quote. Yes, I will do that. I just wanted you guys to know because,
yeah. And it's
I will
good
have
when you know
issues.
that you got to experience it and there's other contacts, so,
Right.
that would be helpful when we look at it. Anything else, Julie, we had within those?
No, that's all for me today.
You reset the date for the meeting, or the.
Oh,
That's the next
that's the
item.
next agenda item.
Yeah, next item is the September meeting date. Julie has a conflict and it's actually budget and things that we really kind of need Julie at the meeting for. So looking at some alternate dates, to have the meeting in September. The regular scheduled meeting was September 15th, which is that third Tuesday. Our Tuesdays are another day of the week can work. Thoughts? I don't know if there's calendar.
No, but you all have them on your iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It cannot be.
Julie, what, do you have any proposed that doesn't interfere with another meeting?
So, right, I propose for it to be moved to the week before, the 8th. The only conflict is that Lions would be meeting here at the same time. Or move it to Thursday the 3rd. And the only reason I'm going earlier is I know that there's somebody that would like to build on the 3rd edition of the Kowskis. So once we get that approved, and he has builders waiting, and if he can't start in the next couple of weeks, then he's gonna have to wait till spring to build. So so that is why I'm moving it forward for budgeting purposes and for looking at all of that. It'd be nice to move it the other way, but so that's why I'd be proposing to have the meeting on the 8th. If we have it the week before, because we could have it either that Tuesday or Thursday night, you would not get your financial stuff ready. And I think you really need that, especially with the budget time.
The September 8th, Tuesday, the 8th work.
I'm okay with the 8th. Yeah.
For Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So Tuesday, the 8th.
I mean, isn't Labor Day is the 7th?
It is, yeah, so, yeah.
Everything right now.
I mean, that's fine, I can make it.
You'll be off the tractor then?
Well, Roll-ups over with it, so
Oh.
that's my vacation.
So, sounds like the September 8th work for you, Karen?
I don't usually have other meetings on Tuesdays.
Otherwise, we can hit you up if we need something and, you know. Mike, that's works for you or,
I work for you guys.
oh, I mean, I'm sure we have a date that works for most of the time. Well, why don't we go for the 8th and Karen, if it's a conflict, we can work prior to, we usually would touch base with you if there was something. Let me know.
I know it's the Detroit Lakes, is the second Tuesday. And I think Detroit Lakes is the only one on that date. Unless, well, there might be some swapping. I might have to deal with Barnesville. But, I'll find out when I go home and make dinner, and then I'll let you know right away.
Okay, so, September 8th, so there would be a hearing at 6, a hearing at 6:15,
Right.
and then our meeting at 6:30. And which hearing are you putting first?
The abatement. Mhm.
Okay,
We need a motion to move that.
can I have a motion to change the meeting to September 8th?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Call for the vote, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried, the meeting has been moved to September 8th. Just the training's there for information, otherwise I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.